You might be watching this DVD because a doctor or nurse has suggested that you or someone close to you could benefit from using the hospice. Only you know how you felt when that suggestion was made. Frightened? Anxious? Maybe your heart sank or your stomach turned over. This DVD has been made by a group of people in exactly that position a few weeks or months ago. These are members of the Hospice's Patients Forum. They were referred to the hospice, and despite their fears and misgivings, they became patients, mostly of the day hospice. Now they've made this DVD because they want to tell you their fears were groundless. They benefit greatly from being here, and what's more, they get real enjoyment and support. Let's hear what some of them have to say about their experiences of the hospice.
There is people in there that got the same problem as me, and it's nice to talk to them and about your illness. And not only that, the support St. Mary's gave me has been tremendous support for the past 2 years since I've been coming there. And whatever problem I've got, there is somebody there to help me, to talk to you about it.
And so they just discharged me from the hospital into respite care at St. Mary's. Instead of sending me straight home. And I had about 4 weeks here recovering. Well, when I went home from the hospice, I'd been looked after 24 hours a day, and now I was sort of left to the tender care of my husband, who would admit himself that he didn't know very much about these things. And the community care from the hospice, they provided a nurse to come along and to talk to us both separately, which I think was important, because Michael got his own worries, and so did I. And she helped us to apply for the right financial assistance, and she also liaised with the GP. They just did everything within their powers to sort of set me up to sort of living as normal a life as possible. And really it's all thanks to St. Mary's that I've kept going so well since.
Admission to St. Mary's has always, in most people's minds, been associated with dying and not coming out. The old phrase, you go into St. Mary's, you don't come out. Not true. Absolutely not true. I was very ill when I came in, so for the first couple of days, I don't think I noticed what was happening. I was in a beautiful side ward, staff who couldn't have possibly have done another thing for me. Every 5 minutes, somebody coming in, are you all right? Anything we can do? Can we do your pillows? Meals. Out of the, I couldn't eat for the first couple of days, but you're still offered, well, we can liquidise this. If there's not something here that you like, we can go and get you something else. I don't know the consultant's name because he walked up to my bed and introduced himself as Steve. I still don't know his name. The nurses were smiling. With my consent, when you come into St. Mary's, you become a part of the team. You're not the patient. The doctors don't go stand at the end of the bed and talk about you over your head. They involve you in every decision that's made. They have a system where whatever happens, you are involved, you are consulted.
I think the hospice has been a great deal of help, because all of us patients have times when we're low because of our diseases and illnesses. But we find that coming to the hospice, everybody understands what our problems are, and we can talk about them if we wish. We don't have to if we don't want to. But we're fairly closely monitored in a very loving way. And I think we all benefit from it. And we would, be lost without it, really, because for a lot of us it's our one day of the week when we can just be ourselves. We don't have to pretend that we aren't ill. If I knew somebody was being referred to the hospice, I'd say go for it. Grab it with both hands, because it's a wonderful experience. There's no air of gloom and doom. It's just one of those places that brings out the best in people.
There are several ways you might experience the benefits the hospice can offer once you've been referred. Most patients remain living at home during their illness, visited by a hospice clinical nurse specialist who gives advice and support and might well suggest you come to the day hospice once a week. There might also be times when it's suggested you come to stay a short while in the inpatient unit, possibly to have your symptoms assessed or get some treatment. Patients come in and out of here. It's comfortable and relaxed. Your family and friends can visit anytime. Children or the dog even are welcome. Let's hear from Sheila.
I've been involved with the hospice quite a long time. It must be nearly 7 years. When my husband was diagnosed with cancer before I was, 2 years before I was. That is when I first came to know about St Mary's and come here regularly to visit him, support him, care for him at home. So it wasn't an absolute strange place for me to come when I was diagnosed 2 years later, because I was already familiar with this room, for instance, and general setup of the hospice. I only became involved with the hospice day centre when I was diagnosed, and we both used to come. He on Friday and myself on Wednesday every week. So we did have something to talk about our day at the hospice. My husband was an inpatient in the St Mary's Hospice. He was for some time. He had home care as well as inpatient care, usually a respite for my benefit as well as his. And he had a very good time here, can I say, a good time, before he died. He was well looked after, so very well looked after, and the facilities were wonderful. All my family, my 2 sons and his brother and sister, we all visited Ken in the hospice. A place where I was afraid to approach and to come to at first, but after a while I realised how wrong I was to be afraid, because it's such a wonderful place to be for a patient. But for myself, I was particularly scared because of things people say to you during your life about that's where you go to die, and that that's in the back of your mind. You can't just escape from that. And I had a particular friend, this is recently, in this last year, who used to say to me, "Why do you go there? Why do you go there and put yourself through that?" And I have to get it through to her that it's the most wonderful place to be, the wonderful place with the people around you. So I've no fear anymore, and I would tell anybody who had to go into the hospice, never ever to be afraid.
You don't have to have any sort of religious belief to come here, but if you do, there are quiet places where you can reflect or pray. It's not easy to think about being a hospice patient. It means you're ill. Your life's changing around you. You might feel things are out of your hands or beyond your control. The people making this DVD want to tell you how the hospice helped them get some of their lives back, introduce them to new activities and new friends. Let's listen to what Kim has to say.
Come to St Mary's Hospice for a break from sort of everyday general life, which is the housework, picking up the kids, dropping them off, and helping with my husband who's got sort of some mental illness issues and needs sort of some care from me. So this is like my day off when I come to St Mary's Hospice. I get out of coming to St Mary's a lot of help with personal issues and medical issues, and I've met a lot of people here that I like over the last year, a lot of friends. And it's a friendly place to come. It's easy going. There's an afternoon quiz usually, and I get to use the art group here, which lets me get everything off my chest, so to speak. I've always been into art, but I stopped doing my artwork for about 10 years, being busy with other things in life. I just forgot about it, and it rekindled my interest coming back to St Mary's. There's been a lot of people here. When I first started with a blank piece of paper, I was quite worried about filling it, but we've got a really good teacher called Roger, and he can teach anyone. He can teach you, if you've never picked up a pencil before, he'll give you the confidence to do it for the first time. And he'll start you off drawing things from magazines, or he'll give you a basic shape of something if you just want to colour it in. And I've seen lots of people who've never even drawn before start off with just really basic line drawings, and they're really good now. Lots of different work that they've put in exhibitions, and it's given me my confidence back. And now I've started collecting, you know, bits and pieces of drawing materials, and I might actually start a class outside as well, which I didn't put as important in my life, having a bit of time for myself with, you know, the children to look after and so on, but I do now, and it's given me that confidence back that I don't think, when I started I thought I was rubbish, but I'm not rubbish. I don't feel rubbish anymore when I do it, and everybody, looking at everybody's artwork's really good, and knowing they put it up for exhibition, and sometimes we sell pieces to raise money for the hospice, and it makes you feel good. Even if somebody pays a £5 for a painting, you feel good that you've contributed something back, because I get a lot out of this place, and so do a lot of people.
Your life might feel full of uncertainty right now. You don't know what to expect or how life will change. The people in this DVD know something about how that feels, and they know there's opportunity here at the hospice to do something about that, to make choices about your illness and your life. Above all, there are people here, many of them patients like you, who are part of that process of you getting back the quality of life that's important to you.
The whole ethos to this place is teaching you how to live with your illness, not how to die from it.